we want to start the show slightly differently this week. It's our first show since the sad passing of Norman. Here at Where the Addicks Walk, we would like to send our condolences to the family, to the friends, and to say that Charlton is a family club, and Norman's passion for this club will live on in every Charlton fan. Steve, it's obviously been a tough couple of weeks for the club, but it's beautiful to see Charlton as a club coming together. It's such a family club, isn't it?
Yeah, it's it's one of the things that make this club so special is just when tragedy or adversity hits us, then it really brings everyone together and kind of there's a real connected and togetherness about the fan base, particularly. I mean, obviously incredibly sad that it has to be on such a terrible occasion as Headphones Norm's passing, but yeah, it really paints the club in a great light that all the fans get together. All the fans are wanting to show their respects and their condolences to his family and his friends, and it's just one of those moments that no one wants to see. But it really shows how Charlton Athletic is one huge big family. No matter where in the world you're from, no matter who you are, we're all together for the same cause.
Well said, Steve. So we echo all of that. So let's get into the latest game, the Birmingham draw, Alan. It was it a slightly better performance that we've seen from recent weeks?
First half, definitely not. Unfortunately, it looked like we were going to get another. If they got another goal in that first half, I thought it's going to be game over. Obviously, we had a big sit-up with Lee Burn's miss. You've got to be scoring that, and we've obviously chatted in our group. It's just one of those things, unfortunately. You've got 22-year-old TC and Lee Burn up front when, ideally, in an ideal world, they should be coming off the bench as impact players and not starting games relentlessly in the Championship. But it is where it is at the moment. But second half, I must have got a flea in the ear because they were a lot better. Tanto was a lot more nearer to Miles as well. And the hold-up play from Miles was a little bit better as well. So we managed to get up the pitch. And, yeah, it was much better performance and a well-deserved point, I thought.
That was going to be my point to you, Platty. I think from the overall game, I think a point was well-deserved.
Yeah, I think we certainly battled for it. I think the setup with Tanto up front and Lee Burn probably asked a few questions initially. But as has been said, first half was really tough. And I've got to say, disappointed that we conceded the goal as we did, because we don't concede many from set pieces like that. And Clara certainly got above everybody else to score. But second half, we did come out a lot better. We'll probably talk about it later. Campbell came on, probably played a lot better than he has done when he started. I was immensely impressed with Fuller and Fuller's performance. He's not a finished article yet, but looked good. And you've got to do a shout out for ranking Costello. There's a little bit of skill he did. I think it was about 10 minutes before the end, down the right side, where he's surrounded by three players, and he did, I don't know, he did one of those moves that if it had been one of the great Dutch players or Brazilian players, you'd have gone, wow. Unfortunately, sadly, his knocked back into the centre, went straight to a Birmingham player, but it was absolute quality. I'm pleased he came on and had a little bit of time. But yeah, second half performance was grit, a lot of grit. And to be honest, it really followed the Middlesbrough game on Tuesday night, where the second half we did come out a lot more stronger. So yeah, happy with the point, probably deserved a point as well.
Yeah, definitely. Ranking Castello's had plenty of time to practice that skill, isn't he? With not playing many minutes, so he's definitely been in the training ground practicing that one. What did you think about the game, Timsy? Was you happy with the second half performance? Do you think it's now something you can take on and sort of work on from that?
I think probably Nathan Jones learned a little bit more about some of the other players in the last game. For me, a standout was Anderson. Not really his quality going forward, but the way his energy and his break-up play around the back to then get the ball back. And I think that was sort of a bit key for us in that game. it was his grit, just getting the ball and being all over the pitch, really. We sort of have missed that in the previous game. So it was good to see him gather. It's probably the best game in the Charlton shirt, I would say. It was a really good performance from him. Also, Fuller, brilliant. What really annoyed me about their goal was Gillespie just didn't jump. He just had an arm on one shoulder. He got like leverage, and he just didn't even put an effort to back into the player, put the player off. He just stood there, and that really annoyed me. Just watching it, especially in the replay, it was just like you just do anything to put the player off, but he just had like a free leaping header, which was the way it looped over as well. It was a brilliant cross in and a brilliant header, really. But it was just annoying that the defender just didn't do anything for it. Moles missing that open goal was, I don't know if it was a confidence issue or he saw it in the back of the net before he actually tried focusing on actually just putting his foot on it. It was one of them which was very painful to see. Probably a goal he really needed, and a strike force really needed. But I don't know what happened. If it bobbled, he just got his boot under it. It was just horrific to see. But no, second half, we were very attacking. We pressed much more better as a team. We didn't just press all the time. We pressed at certain moments, and it worked a lot better. The only thing was another negative in the second half was Lee's burn flick-ons, and that weren't. No one was getting onto the end of them if they did, or they were just too far. They didn't seem to have. It was just get something to it, no purpose to it, and that's something which I feel Miles really needs to add to his game at the moment to get Tanto more in the game. We saw what he could do if he's got the ball on the wide area now as well. We need to see more of that. It's like stop the rot, but let's see more of that second half now.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, there was a goal for Charlton, and it came from TC. There's been a lot of talk about him, so we need to get into TC. Tyreece Campbell, Steve, number one fan?
No, not even close. I mean, one goal doesn't make up for 19 abject performances, as far as I'm concerned. He's still got a lot more to do to prove himself to be a championship level player. Now, it's great that he came on. It's great that he scored with his first touch. Fantastic. But I want to see that more often. I want to see him doing this and impacting on games more often, because if you take the number of goals he's got or the number of contributions, I can probably find you double the number of games where he's not had an impact. So he needs to up his game, and I'm not buying into. So I'm seeing lots on Twitter like, "Oh, let's let the apologies for him be as loud as the criticism." No, not at all. He was criticised justly and rightly for all his abject performances up until now, and we can't just he scored one goal and that's fine. And in the same sense, he isn't just a young player anymore. He is our most experienced player in terms of appearances for the club. No player in the current squad has got more appearances for the club than him. He's 22. He's not 17. He is a senior pro in the club, so he has to take on that responsibility. If he's going to be our number 7, he's got a lot more to do to prove that he is a championship quality number 7.
Yeah, that's some interesting points. And with that being said, Alan, why do you think Nathan Jones rates him? I know obviously he didn't start at the weekend, but why do you think he keeps picking TC? Do you think that TC is championship quality? What's your opinion, Alan?
No, he's not championship quality yet, but like Nathan Jones said, he can grow into it. And like Steve said, he's obviously number 7. The reason I don't, bash him so hard as probably 50-50 Marmite, and he really is you're going to see, like Steve's opinion and Blatty's, where they just look at goal contributions and assists and goals. I see it that, like Nathan Jones does, he's a number 7 that's been asked to be a number 10 and a wing back. You wouldn't get Matty Godden playing right back. You wouldn't ask Lloyd Jones to go and play on the wing. It's just so. I have to give him slack that way. He is. Yes, I know he's obviously had a lot of games, but I can't really judge him until really he's in that left-hand side wing. I mean, we saw it against, I think it was the Borough game. Or was it Portsmouth game, unfortunately, before it got stopped. He was actually left wing. He took on his man, beat him, and got the crossing. And you thought that's what you want to see from TC. But he was on the left-hand side of the wing. That's his job, you know. And I've always said that the opposition fans, whenever you speak to them, they always say TC's the one, the danger one. They're the ones that they double up on him. So if they could take 2 players off him and mark them on TC, that leaves obviously more space for others. And like I said before, realistically on that left-hand side, we tried it. We had the Cantar Lafay, let's get him there. He tried that against Coventry, and within 10 minutes they scored 2 goals. The defensive side of TC is the work rate, is what I look at. Yes, he has to score more goals. Yes, he has to assist. But I've always said, if TC scores goals and got more assists and stuff, he wouldn't be a Charlton Athletic player. First off, he'd be sold straight away. There'll be bigger clubs in from just for his work rate, obviously, and if he can score goals. If he was on 6 goals and 7 assists for the season, as I said, he wouldn't be in a Charlton shirt. So the bigger clubs would have got hold of him.
To sort of know the level. What about you, Platty? I mean, is Alan right? Is up to some of the, not the blame, but to some of it has to go to Nathan Jones in playing him in them positions? I know obviously the squad depth is a little bit thin at the moment, but do you feel like maybe there should be a change of system then to actually suit TC more? What do you believe is the issue there, Platty?
Yeah, so I think I said the previous week that time has come. Before the Portsmouth game, previous show, I think the time has come for him to be put on the bench, used as a game changer. His best game so far this season was away at Ipswich, undoubtedly, in my opinion, when he came on as sub, and he played really well. But I accept what Alan says about him playing when he's playing out of position. But equally, I think it was the Middlesbrough game. First goal was his mistake. Or was it the second one? And he was involved in the first one, just out of position. And part of that, I feel, is naivety. And I do find myself focusing on him, as I put it before, mooning around. He has got ability. Alan's dead right. If he'd be scoring 7 or 8 goals, he wouldn't be playing for Charlton. So there is a view that, perhaps he's suited to us in that way. But, he scored yesterday. He took that chance, which perhaps if he'd given it a Leeburn, it would have gone straight over the bar, as he did with his other ones. So, fair play to him, and he took that chance. I see him as a game changer if we can work it. I'd rather have the muscle of Alafi out on the wing. I mean, that nutmeg that he did on Clara, Sky Sports, I think they gave us 1 minute 59 on their highlights. And I think they showed that 3 times. Absolute cracking. And then the cross came in, and TC did well to finish it. Keep it low, hit it hard. I think it might have taken a slight ricochet, but, fair play to him. But I would rather see Alafi. Now, is it Leeburn up front? I'm really waiting for Godden or Kelman to come back. And then we may then be in a place where we could even play Apta and TC.
Exactly.
And then, of course, it's having the defence back to fitness and solid. But, TC scored. Nathan did exactly what I asked him to do 2 games later than I asked him, but he benched him, stuck him on, brought him on as sub, and he did well. So I'm grateful for that. I just hope that he doesn't start next week. I hope he comes on after 60 minutes and gets a hat-trick. Good news.
That would be good. Maybe Nathan Jones is a little bit behind on his watching of Where the Addicks Walk, maybe, mate.
I think he probably is, mate. Yeah, absolutely.
I do think he does need to get rested and dropped, and obviously Lieber needs to come out as well. But unfortunately, we're in a position where it's like Jones with Lloyd Jones. The physio wanted to bring him off. He said unless he's going to tape his mouth up or something, then Jones made a comment. We haven't got any bodies. Do it. I would like to see maybe against Oxford we could try and get that French bloke on for 15, 20 minutes and hopefully don't pull hamstring or something. But we've got not really no options to do it. I was surprised he went with Lafay and Leeburn. So I said to you guys in the chat, if one of them gets injured, we are really up the canal.
My worry with that French player is that I saw him warming up in that the Middlesbrough game, and he looked knackered just running down the touchline. I'm not sure he's going to last longer than 3 minutes.
We'll see.
Never optimist, Steve. Eh?
Yeah.
He looked knackered.
Well, talking about the opposite to optimism, Platty peeve. It's time. It's time for you, Platty. What is your peeve for this week?
Well, it's a very small peeve, and it's a real sad peeve because the sad situation at the Portsmouth game, just a small, well, perhaps not small, but certainly a minority of Pompey fans and their reaction and the way they behaved. It's not easy to communicate something at the time. Everyone knew what was going on. And their reaction, I thought, was, well, distasteful, disgusting, disappointing. And also, I understand there were some unsavoury chants going back to the station. So that's my peeve, but I don't want that to overlay just what the sad situation of the game was. And again, rest in peace, Norman Barker. But I would like to add to that, Middlesbrough fans were absolutely outstanding on Tuesday. Outstanding. And I've put that on Twitter a number of times. And Birmingham yesterday, fair play to them. They put Norman's picture up, and then at I think it was
35 minutes.
Yeah, they did a round of applause, and everyone stood up. And I was only listening yesterday on the radio. I listened to the whole game on the radio on Charlton Live, but it seemed very respectful. Perhaps anyone who was at the ground might say otherwise, but it seemed very respectful, and that's really impressive. So
I don't think we knew about
nothing
it.
else to add.
Yeah, that's some fair points there, Platty. Well said. Right, we're looking forward now to the Oxford game. Timsy, I'm going to throw the question to you, please, mate. What is your score predictions and what are you expecting from the game?
Oh, we're going to go back to clean sheets. I reckon we're going to get a clean sheet. There was some comments in Nathan Jones' interview. I think it was with the Richard Crawley one, where he said there's one or two are going to be back. Hopefully we're not sticking them on, but hopefully it just gives us that bit of assurance. And I'm hoping it's Kelman, but who knows when it comes to injuries with Nathan Jones. But he did say possibly one or two may be back for the Oxford game. So that'll be very promising for us, and hopefully gives the team a bit more morale, along with the stopping the rot of the 1-1. So I'm going to go a clean sheet, and we're going to win it. I'm going to say 2-0, and I'm going to say Jones is going to score, and I'm going to go for, if Anderson is playing, Anderson's going to score. That's what I'm going to go for, just because Anderson really did impress me. Yesterday, so that's what.
Them two goal scorers, that might be worth a cheeky bet. I wonder what the odds are for that. No, lovely. Optimism. Like I say, you got to try and build on the second half performance now, haven't we? So
yes.
Yeah, right. We are now on to our next section, which is the A to Z. So I'm throwing it back to you, Timsy. The letter I for Charlton Athletic.
Well, the pool of letter I isn't amazing. I mean, I will give out an honourable mention to Ryan Innes, though, for he's coming on against Wimbledon in 7 minutes, going on a ball rolled out to him from the keeper, dribbles it once, dribbles it a second time, the third time, most awful touch you'll ever see in football, goes over the halfway line. Innes thinks, I'll just chase it, and then goes flying off the floor in a flying kick into a bloke's ankle and got a straight red. Probably one of the most blatant red cards I've ever seen. But my actual letter I will be Sasha Illich, who apparently begged for a troll while he was playing non-league in Hastings. I think it weren't for Hastings. I think he was playing for St Leonard's. But yeah, for Stamco, if I believe rightly. And he was begging for a troll. He actually got a troll and actually ended up getting a contract with Charlton. And then he ended up somehow finding himself into the first team. And he got back-to-back clean sheets and ended up being a bit of a stay. He probably most famous for his penalty save against Gray in the 4-4 Wembley playoff final when we won 7-6 on penalties, but the save there, and there's an iconic picture with him with the cup on his head celebrating, and the celebration after saving that as well was quite legendary. Probably one of them players who performed above what his threshold was at times for us. And probably Alan Kirbishley was probably a bit too low for him when we went up to the Premier League, and then ended up coming back down, because after that season we did then replace him with Dean Kelly, who was ended up being a bit of a goalkeeping legend for us. So yeah,
I like that one. That's a nice story with it with it as well. Right, we're finishing with tweet of the week, and it is actually it's a tweet from a Charlton fan, but it's a quote from the boss, Nathan Jones, at the end of the game to the fans, and he repeated, "Stay with us, stay with us." Steve, are you still backing Nathan Jones? Do you believe Charlton can have a really successful season?
Yeah, I'm still with him. Still think he's the right guy for the team at this point in time in where we're at in our journey. So I think everyone's still, or at least like 98% of people, Charlton fans, are still with him. I think it's just been a tough month and a half, or however long it's been over the last, where we've had 5 or 6 quite difficult results. So I think it's right that we're all kind of sticking together. I think we will do. Successful season now. Probably we got a bit ahead of ourselves early on when we were riding high. I think successful now goes back to that mentality of where we were before a ball was kicked, and just making sure that we're still in this division come next season, because we don't want to be dropping down into League One, because as history has shown, it takes us a few years to get out of that division once we've dropped down there. So everything about this season is about staying in the Championship, being above that bottom 3. Well, it's really 2 teams we're fighting, because Sheffield Wednesday are pretty much gone. So it's just staying above the other 2 down there, and making sure that next season we've got a solid base to build on.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think that's a fair, realistic sort of point of view. Thank you guys for a great conversation as always. Thank you everybody for watching at home. Please like and subscribe, and please get involved in the comments below, talking all things Charlton.